Have you ever looked up at the sky and seen a silver airplane soaring high above the clouds? It looks like a tiny metal bird, gliding effortlessly through the vast blue expanse. Millions of people board these magnificent machines every single day, traveling to faraway places for vacation, business, or to visit family. They trust that the plane will take them there safely, and for the most part, their trust is well placed. Flying is one of the most incredible achievements of humankind, allowing us to cross oceans and continents in just a matter of hours, a journey that once took months or even years. Despite what you might see in movies or on the news, flying is statistically the safest form of long-distance transportation. Pilots are some of the most highly trained and skilled professionals in the world. They spend years learning how to fly, studying weather patterns, understanding complex machinery, and practicing how to handle emergencies in advanced flight simulators. They are responsible for the lives of hundreds of passengers on every flight. However, despite all their training and experience, pilots are still human. More often, they happen because of things like fatigue, stress, or confusion. In a high-pressure situation like navigating through a bad storm or dealing with an unexpected warning light, an airplane is an incredibly complex machine, made up of millions of individual parts all working together in perfect harmony. From the giant wings that provide lift to the tiny wires that carry electrical signals, every piece has an important job to do. Mechanics, who are also highly trained experts, spend thousands of hours inspecting, repairing, and replacing parts. Airplanes are regularly taken out of service for these deep inspections, where they are practically taken apart and put back together again. Today, planes are built with multiple redundant systems. This means that for every critical part there is usually a backup. If one system fails, another one can take over instantly, and the pilots might not even notice a difference. The engines are the heart of an airplane. They provide the powerful thrust needed to push the aircraft down the runway, lift it into the air, and propel it through the sky at hundreds of miles per hour. One of the first things pilots learn during their training is what to do if an engine fails. Every commercial airliner with 2 or more engines is designed to be able to fly safely and even take off and climb with one engine not working. In 2009, U.S. Airways Flight 1549 took off from New York City and flew into a large flock of geese. Using their incredible skill, they glided the powerless Airbus down to a safe water landing on the Hudson River, and every single person on board survived. Airplanes fly through the atmosphere, which means they are always at the mercy of the weather. The most significant weather threats to aviation include thunderstorms, icing, strong winds, and thick fog. They use sophisticated weather radar on the ground and on the plane itself to see what lies ahead and navigate a safe path around trouble. Pilots will always try to fly around thunderstorms by a wide margin. When a plane flies through clouds with moisture at freezing temperatures, ice can begin to build up on the wings. To prevent this, airplanes have de-icing systems, such as heated wing edges or inflatable rubber boots that break the ice off. Imagine for a moment a giant invisible highway system in the sky with lanes, intersections, and specific altitudes for planes to fly on. The people who direct the traffic on these highways are the air traffic controllers, watching over every plane in their section of the sky. They give pilots instructions on when to take off, what direction to fly, how high to climb, and when it is clear to land. Controllers are human, and they work in a high-stress, fast-paced environment where they are responsible for many aircraft at once. One of the most tragic examples of an air traffic control error was the Tenerife airport disaster in 1977. Standard phrases for radio communication were created and are now used worldwide to prevent misunderstandings between pilots and controllers. One of the most well-known external hazards is a bird strike. This is when an airplane collides with a bird, or more often, a flock of birds. Airports put a lot of effort into trying to keep birds away from the runways, using methods from loud noises and scare cannons to trained falcons and dogs. They go through rigorous certification tests where frozen birds are literally fired into a running engine to prove that it can shut down safely. Volcanic ash, for example, is extremely dangerous for airplanes. When a volcano erupts, it can spew a giant cloud of fine rock particles high into the atmosphere. A small piece of metal, a lost tool, or a fragment from a burst tire can pose a significant threat to an aircraft taking off or landing at high speed. The tragic crash of an Air France Concorde in 2000 was caused by a metal strip that had fallen off another plane onto the runway. Every single time there is an incident, no matter how minor, a team of experts begins a long and detailed investigation. To do this, investigators recover the flight data recorder and the cockpit voice recorder. These are often called the black boxes, even though they are actually painted bright orange. Together, these two devices allow investigators to reconstruct the flight's final moments with incredible detail. These recommendations are sent to the airline, the aircraft manufacturer, and the aviation regulators. The lessons learned from the Aloha Airlines flight led to better inspections. The Tenerife disaster led to standardized radio communications. The Concorde crash led to stricter runway inspections. Each tragedy, while devastating, has provided invaluable knowledge that has been used to build more layers of safety into the system. After learning about all the things that can potentially go wrong, it might be easy to feel a little more anxious about flying. But it is important to remember the bigger picture. For every one of these rare incidents we have discussed, there are millions of flights that take off and land perfectly without any issues at all. Every day, over 100,000 flights transport more than 10 million people around the globe. The journey is almost always smooth, routine, and uneventful. This remarkable record is the result of countless safety nets, highly trained pilots, rigorous maintenance, redundant systems, vigilant controllers, and global commitment to learning. So the next time you are sitting in an airport, waiting to board your flight, take a moment to appreciate the incredible machine on the tarmac. The shocking truth behind aircraft crashes is not that they happen, but that they have taught us how to build a world where flying is, and continues to be, the safest way to travel.